welcome to our deep dive today. Looks like we're taking a deep dive into how people connect with the spiritual side of life.
Yeah, some really fascinating stuff in these sources.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to dive in. Travel guides, museum resources, even some encyclopedia entries.
Wow, that's quite the mix. It's amazing how many different ways people approach this whole idea of spirituality.
It really is. And it's not just about organized religion either.
Well,
right?
not at all. It's way broader than that. It's more about how the spiritual is woven into everyday life, like a thread connecting everything.
Ooh, I like that. A hidden thread.
Yeah.
So let's start untangling this thread, shall we? And I think a great place to start is India. What a place. So much diversity.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you know they have over 19,500 mother tongues there?
Wow.
And 23 officially recognized languages.
That's mind-boggling. It really gives you a sense of just how rich Indian culture is.
And how many different ways people experience spirituality.
Exactly.
And speaking of experiencing things differently, let's talk about the Namaste greeting. It's more than just a hello or goodbye, isn't it?
It is. It's so much more than that. I mean, literally namaste or namaskar or namaskaram translates to I bow to the divine in you.
Wow.
It's a gesture of deep respect, acknowledging that sacred spark within each person.
You know, it's funny because it's become so relevant in our post-pandemic world, right?
Mm.
It's like a way to connect on a deeper level without physical touch.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's recognizing that shared humanity. A powerful way to say we're all in this together.
We are. And that honoring of the other is so deeply ingrained in Indian culture. You know that saying, Atithi Devo Bhava?
Yes. The guest is equivalent to God.
Exactly. Hospitality isn't just politeness. It's almost a spiritual practice.
It is, and it's not just limited to humans either.
Right.
Think about the sacred status of cows in Hinduism.
Okay.
I mean, they're a symbol of Mother Earth, a provider of sustenance and life.
It's a good reminder that we're all part of a much bigger web of life,
We are.
all interconnected
Yeah.
and deserving of respect. Now, when we talk about Indian culture, we can't ignore the role of family,
Oh, no, of course not.
especially arranged marriages.
Yeah.
That's something that always raises eyebrows in other parts of the world.
Rightly so.
So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's crucial to understand it within its historical context. You know, arranged marriages go back centuries. Rooted in the Vedic period, the focus was on strengthening family ties, social stability, continuing lineage,
Interesting.
not just romantic love.
So it's not about finding the one,
Yeah.
but about fulfilling a duty to family and community.
Yeah, and to be clear, the concept is definitely evolving in modern India,
Oh, I'm sure.
but it remains significant for many.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of traditions, let's move on to another very important aspect of Indian culture. Food.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the variety and regional specialties are just incredible.
It is.
But what really struck me in the research was the spiritual significance attached to food.
Oh, for sure.
It's not just fuel, right?
No, it's like a sacred offering, almost a ritual. The choice of ingredients, the way it's prepared, even the act of eating,
Yeah,
it's all imbued with deeper meaning.
it is.
It's about connecting to the divine through nourishment. And did you notice how much emphasis is placed on eating with your hands?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that just a cultural thing, or is there more to it?
There's definitely a deeper layer there.
Okay.
You know, it's believed to encourage mindfulness,
Yeah.
a deeper awareness of the textures and aromas and flavors.
A full sensory experience.
It is.
Not just shoving food in your mouth.
No. And some say it even aids digestion.
Oh, wow.
It makes you appreciate that interconnectedness of body and spirit.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the religious landscape in India.
Okay.
I mean, you've got Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, all coexisting there.
Such a melting pot.
It's remarkable. And within this diversity, we see practices like fasting. They call it vrats or upvas.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, well, fasting is viewed as a form of self-discipline purification, a way to connect with the divine through sacrifice. It's found in various forms across many religions, each with its own nuances and purposes.
Yeah. Fascinating how different cultures approach that idea of spiritual cleansing.
It is.
Now, shifting our focus to physical spaces.
Okay.
What about those elaborate temples? They're not just places to pop in for a quick prayer, are they?
Definitely not. Temples are considered incredibly sacred, imbued with powerful energy.
Wow.
There are specific rituals to prepare yourself before entering, like bathing dressing modestly, removing your shoes.
What about shifting your mindset?
It is.
Leaving the mundane world behind.
Right.
And entering a space of reverence and purification.
Exactly. A beautiful example of how even the physical act of approaching a sacred space can be a spiritual practice in itself.
It is. So we've seen how spirituality is woven into daily life in India, from greetings and meals to family and places of worship.
It really is.
But now let's journey across the globe to North America and explore the profound connection to nature found in Native American spirituality. This is where we see a completely different way of understanding the sacred. One that views all things, living and non-living, as possessing a spirit.
That's animism, right?
Animism, yes.
It's a worldview that challenges the Western tendency to separate humans from nature, doesn't it?
It does.
And because of this worldview, this term spirit animal, while popular, can actually be problematic when discussing Native American spirituality. It's a good reminder to approach these concepts with sensitivity and respect.
Yeah.
Now, our sources also highlight the importance of clan and kinship systems in many Native American tribes.
Yes.
And how they're deeply intertwined with the natural world.
They are.
So can you talk about that?
Sure. These systems reflect a profound understanding of interconnectedness, honoring ancestors and the land as integral parts of their identity and spirituality.
And this respect for the land is paramount.
It is.
Native American cultures emphasize living in harmony with nature, taking only what's needed, and recognizing that delicate balance of all things.
That's right.
There's a powerful quote from Chief Luther Standing Bear
Okay.
that really speaks to this contrast between Native American and Western views.
All right.
He said, "The white man is a symbol of extinction due to his lack of rapport with the natural world.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder of the consequences of viewing nature as something to exploit,
It is.
rather than a partner in our existence."
That's right.
And this partnership is beautifully expressed in practices like the sit spot,
Okay.
where you find a place in nature and simply sit quietly observing and connecting to the energy around you.
I love that.
It's something anyone can do, regardless of where they live, to tap into that deeper connection with nature.
It is.
And this brings us to another fascinating aspect, the symbolic meaning of trees and animals in Native American cultures.
Okay.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, each tree and animal is believed to possess unique spiritual properties and teachings. They're seen as guides, messengers, and sources of wisdom. For example, the 4 directions north, south, east, west each hold deep significance, as does the circle, symbolizing the cyclical nature of life and the interconnectedness of all beings.
It's a worldview that offers a powerful counterpoint to the individualism and consumerism that often dominates Western society.
It does.
It encourages us to shift our perspective,
Yeah.
to see ourselves as part of a larger whole,
Yes.
and to recognize the sacred in the everyday.
It does.
It's like they're saying the whole world is alive with spirit, and we're just one part of this, this intricate breathing tapestry.
Precisely. And that brings us to a really crucial question your sources seem to be dancing around. How do these different spiritual traditions shape our understanding of what's truly sacred?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because it's clear sacredness isn't limited to temples or rituals,
Really
right?
not at all.
It seems to be more about how we approach life itself, our place in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. Both Indian and Native American cultures seem to agree that the sacred is woven into the fabric of daily existence.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the divine in the seemingly ordinary moments.
So it's not about grand gestures or elaborate ceremonies, but those small, everyday acts of reverence and respect.
Precisely. Think back to the Namaste greeting.
Right.
It transforms a simple hello into a moment of spiritual connection, acknowledging that divine spark within each person.
Or even the practice of eating with your hands in India.
Yes.
It's not just about consuming food, it's a ritual, a way to connect with the source of nourishment and appreciate it on a deeper level.
Exactly. And in Native American cultures, something as simple as sitting quietly in nature,
Okay.
like in the sit spot practice,
Oh,
becomes a way to tap into that spiritual energy that flows through all things.
wow, that's a powerful image. Just being present in nature, allowing yourself to be enveloped by its energy.
Yes.
It makes you realize that the sacred doesn't have to be something distant or unattainable. It can be found right here, right now.
Exactly. And what stands out to you from these sources about how different cultures define the sacred itself?
You know what really strikes me is how both Indian and Native American traditions challenge that very Western idea of separating the spiritual from the material world.
Okay.
For them, these two realms are inseparable, constantly intertwined.
That's a keen observation. It's not about escaping the world to find spirituality, but about discovering the spiritual within the world. in every aspect of life.
It's a much more holistic viewpoint, wouldn't you say? And it makes me wonder, how can we cultivate that kind of awareness in our own lives? In a world that often feels so materialistic and disconnected.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And your sources offer some subtle hints.
Okay.
It seems cultivating a sense of the sacred requires a real shift in perspective.
A shift away from that constant striving.
Yes.
That attachment to material possessions.
Yes.
That always-on mentality that so many of us get caught in.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about slowing down, paying attention, and rediscovering that interconnectedness that binds us to all things.
So like practicing the sit spot.
Yes.
Or maybe consciously incorporating the namaste greeting into our interaction.
Those are wonderful examples. It's about finding ways to infuse even the most mundane moments with a sense of reverence and gratitude.
So it's not about becoming a monk or living in an ashram, but about bringing that spiritual awareness into the everyday, the here and now.
Precisely. And remember, this is a journey that's unique to each individual.
Right.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach to spirituality. What resonates with one person may not resonate with another.
Of course.
And that's perfectly okay.
It's about finding what speaks to your heart, what helps you connect with something larger than yourself.
It is.
And that brings us back to that thought-provoking challenge your sources leave us with right out.
Absolutely.
How do we cultivate a deeper connection to our own spiritual world?
Regardless of any specific religion or dogma.
It's a question that goes beyond beliefs and rituals.
It does.
It's a call to explore what truly gives our lives meaning and purpose.
Yes.
What connects us to something greater than ourselves.
And that's where things get really exciting, wouldn't you say?
It is exciting. It's like giving us permission to, define spirituality on our own terms, not based on some pre-packaged set of rules, but on what we genuinely experience and connect with.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? It puts the power back in our hands. We get to shape our own spiritual journeys, guided by what resonates within us.
And those journeys don't have to fit any mold.
No, they don't.
There's no right or wrong way to approach spirituality. It's as diverse as humanity itself.
Exactly. What might speak to my heart might not resonate with yours.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. It's about finding what sparks that inner flame, what helps us connect with something that transcends our limited sense of self.
So it's not about blindly following doctrines or rituals.
No.
But about cultivating that inner awareness.
Yes.
That sense of awe and reverence for life. That connection to something much larger than our individual egos.
You've captured it beautifully. It's about aligning ourselves with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. And that purpose, it can manifest in so many ways.
You really can. Through our relationships, our work,
yes,
creative expression, our connection with nature. It's about finding what brings us joy, what allows us to share our unique gifts with the world.
And in doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but contribute to the well-being of others and the planet itself.
So it's not just about personal fulfillment.
No.
It's about making a positive impact on the world around us.
Precisely. Spirituality isn't something separate from our everyday lives.
Right.
It's about how we live, how we interact with others, how we choose to move through this world.
It's a way of being, not just a set of beliefs.
Beautifully said. And it's a journey that's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
As we grow and change, so too does our understanding of spirituality.
Right.
It's a lifelong exploration.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
It's taken us around the globe.
It has.
And also deep within ourselves.
Yeah.
We've explored how different cultures connect with the spiritual side of life.
We have.
And ultimately, it all comes back to that individual journey, that inner yearning to connect with something greater than ourselves.
And that's the most beautiful takeaway, isn't it? We're left with this invitation to explore our own spiritual landscapes.
Yeah.
To cultivate our own unique sense of the sacred.
I like that.
And to live lives filled with meaning and purpose.
It's a challenge, but an exciting one.
It is.
Who knows what amazing discoveries await us along the way?
That's the beauty of it. Each step is a revelation. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and may your own journey be filled with wonder and inspiration.